Welcome back to the Achilles channel, everybody. So Obama is off on his Asian tour, and he went to India. And the reason why he's going to India and all of these countries is because, let me read this to you. America's impending masterclass dictatorship. I got this off of that. It's written by Stuart Daughtry. Now this was written, what, January 22nd, okay, of this year, and but it's relevant to today. He wrote, the government has announced that during the fiscal years from 2010 through 2019, it will create an additional $9 trillion in deficits, an amount that is almost certain to be understated by trillions given the country's current economic trajectory. The government assumes that this vast additional deficit will be funded by others, such as the Chinese, as it is a statistical fact that the United States will be incapable of funding. So just recently, they talked about QE2, which is basically buying our own debt, monetizing our debt, and China says no, that's going to create fiscal collapse. Fiscal crisis, and so they're basically going to stop loaning us money. They're going to stop buying our debt. They already warned us that they're not going to back something like this. So Barack Obama, this is all about going to India and Japan and these other nations to encourage them to buy our debt, because China has already cut us off when it comes to that. Do you understand? They're talking about printing money. So all they're doing is looking for a new bank. China has closed the doors to them if they're going to continue on this path, so they need to look for someone else. That's why he went. That's why they're spending $2 billion on a 10-day whirlwind tour of Asia. Because it's all about finding somebody to buy our debt. Because Barack Obama is going to continue to increase the deficit in America. Because that's the whole goal. The goal of this revolutionary struggle is to end U.S. imperialism, which is to end national sovereignty. And the way you end national sovereignty is you bankrupt the nation. And then other nations will have to come in and bail us out because America's too big to fail. So once that happens, we will now be a part of, a world organization. We will no longer have the freedom and the right to govern ourselves. And he's doing it through spending money. For example, $40 million a day California is borrowing from the Fed. Listen, America, are we not sick and tired of bailouts or what? Why should we be bailing out a state that has just re-elected the same types of people that got them into this fiscal problem? Why are we doing this? Isn't this insanity? Isn't this the definition of insanity? We're going to bail these people out. We're not going to let them suffer the consequences of what they have done. What you don't realize, people, is that California is bankrupt by design. By the very people they have just put in there. Via pure democracy. You vote for me and I'll give you everything you want. Even if we can't afford it, we'll just raise taxes. The rich people leave. They create a deficit. And there we go. But it's also a pathway for their chosen people. Remember, we're ending U.S. imperialism here. And the way you do that is you infiltrate the country with like-minded people. People who will vote for you. People who will vote for the fundamental transformation of this country because they want the end of U.S. imperialism as well. Let me read this real quickly. This is from the Underground Manifesto. It's ridiculous. This is exactly what we're talking about. William Ayres wrote this. Bernardine Dohrn wrote this. Bernardine Dohrn just recently came out and said that they were wrong about many things. And one of the things that they were wrong about was an immediate revolution. An immediate revolution didn't work. They thought it would, and it didn't. They were crushed in the streets. So what she's saying is Saul Alinsky's silent revolution working inside the system was really the way to go, and that's what they did, and that's what they're doing, and that's why there's crisis. That's why we're where we are today, because they have undermined our country from within the system. And now they're going to bring in all of these people who they have allied with, Mexicans, the terrorists. They've lined themselves with all of these people because they all have the same thing. Hugo Chavez, Vladimir Putin, all of these people want the end of U.S. imperialism. That's why they're working with them. That's why they're working with Russia to weaken our nuclear armament. That's why. Because they want the end of U.S. imperialism. It says, we determine who our friends and who our enemies are according to whether they help U.S. imperialism or fight to defeat it. They're bringing these people in via California. They've taken over that state. That state is a pure democracy now, and they're destroying it. And we have to bail them out. This is the front lines of this helter-skelter that they are creating. Helter-skelter is an organized race war. Because this whole thing is all about race. It's all about segregation. You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. It's all about segregation. It's all about multiculturalism. It's all about dividing this country up into segments and placing ethnic diversity, no ethnic diversity. It will be segregation, multiculturalism, meaning this part of the country will be this color people and this religion, or this ethnicity, or this, that, and the other. That's what this whole plan is about. Dividing the country. That's what Obama is, the great divider. He's ushering this plan in via Saul Alinsky's tactics, because the Weather Underground tactics didn't work. And Dorn said it the other day. Nobody pays attention to this stuff. She's working with the UN. Because it's all about giving the UN the power and letting the UN control the world agenda. But the key is the end of U.S. sovereignty. The key is the end of national sovereignty and U.S. imperialism. And that is what they're doing. That is exactly what they're doing. And this is the goal. The primary task of the revolutionary struggle is to solve this principal contradiction on the side of the people of the world. It is the oppressed peoples of the world who have created the wealth of this empire, and it is to them it belongs, and they are hell-bent on giving it to them. The goal of the revolutionary struggle must be the control and use of this wealth in the interests of the oppressed peoples of the world. So they are going to take control, and they're doing it through crisis. They create a crisis, and they go in. They created the crisis in the banks, now they control the banks. They created the crisis in the car industry, now they control GM. They created the crisis in GM through the unions, because the unions are part of this global plan. Workers of the world unite. It's all there for us to see in their own words. And we must wake up to it. California will be the front lines of this helter-skelter, organized race war that Obama is bringing to this country. And they're all working together to end U.S. imperialism, which is basically national sovereignty, our ability to govern ourselves. God bless America.